Seems like Nick Saban and the current coaching staff at Alabama as well have had some pretty forthcoming comments early on, which you usually don't see this early on. Usually the coaches hold things close to the vest until, August and fall practice. But there's been some forthcoming comments about the Alabama quarterback situation, especially in regards to Ty Simpson. Let's talk about it. It's another episode of The Outlaw of College Football, and here they come once again, riding on in. It's the Outlaw Posse now in effect, bringing in our four horsemen shout-outs of the day. They go to Sigma, Kathy Clark, Bama Zach, and Jonathan Lewis from Mount Up, ready to go. They're going to help us with today's college football invasion. Also, if you have any ideas for the show or want to be on the show, just hit me up on X at OCF Productions in DMs. Now, getting right to it here, seems like Nick Saban and the current coaching staff both had some pretty pleasant things to say about Ty Simpson and the Alabama quarterback situation. I'm going to bring up this article for y'all real quick, and then I'm going to give you my thoughts, and I'm going to ask for your thoughts in the comments section. Let's bring that up right now. Here's the article right here from the Tuscaloosa News. As you can see, the title says, "What Nick Saban said about Alabama football quarterback Ty Simpson, he'll do a great job," right out the gate. He says, "Ty was an outstanding high school quarterback, no doubt. He's a fine young man. I think his example is a true example of development. He matured and developed for 3 years, and now he's going to get the opportunity, and I think his experiences are really going to help him be successful. We're rooting for him, that's for sure, and I have every confidence that he will do a great job." Says Simpson is widely expected to start at Alabama as its starting quarterback battle for first-team reps with Austin Mack and Keelan Russell. Yeah, that's Captain Obvious there. But here's the part that sort of surprised me. Simpson was the most experienced quarterback in the quarterback room with 50 career pass attempts across 3 seasons with the Crimson Tide. He has 3 rushing touchdowns. And Ryan Grubb, Alabama's current offensive coordinator, called Simpson the incoming starter if we had to play tomorrow. A message that was also backed up by Kalen DeBoer. Kalen DeBoer came out and said that, yes, right now, as it stands, Ty Simpson would be the starter. I don't know why that surprises some people. There's going to be those negative Nancy's out there all the time. They're going to be clamoring for the backup quarterback and even the third-string quarterback at some point. So I fully expect that to happen. Hopefully there won't be any tension on the team as far as any other extenuating factors. I'm not going to go into that, but you can pretty much guess what I'm sort of hinting at. But Ty Simpson, to me, reminds me a lot, eerily, of the situation with Mac Jones back in a few years ago. Mac Jones backed up a quarterback for a number of years, from Jalen Hurts to Tua Tagovailoa. He was an afterthought. Mac Jones come in. I think he was a 4-star quarterback. So he didn't get all the accolades that these other guys did. But once Tua left, everybody assumed that Mac Jones would just be a placeholder and that Bryce Young would eventually overtake him maybe in the middle of the season at some point. That never happened. Mac Jones went on to have one of the best careers of all time at Alabama. And I think it's what Nick Saban alluded to. It's because he was patient and he allowed development to take place and stay at one program for more than 2 years, actually 3, just like Ty Simpson. Now, a lot of people will say they'll come back with the negative Nancy comments, like I said, and say, well, if he was so great, why didn't he start before now? That's a valid question. But there's something also to be said for somebody who stays and tries to learn, and then when you do get your opportunity, you're not basically thrown to the fire and take a chance of hurting yourself long term as far as possibly being a professional quarterback or a professional any position in the NFL. It's a wise thing to try to sit back and learn a little bit. That's a lost art form, I think, with these college players nowadays. If they don't get their wave, they don't get their playing time immediately, then they'll leave the next year. And that's why I've grown sour to even partaking or listening to any reports or news on high school seniors recruiting. People get all excited when they get a 5-star commitment from a high school senior, and I'm not sure why. Because now, if these high school seniors aren't getting playing time in their freshman year, a lot of them dip out, and you're either having to re-recruit them or other teams are recruiting them. And in the process, you're having to recruit new high school recruits as well as having to re-recruit your roster. So I just don't get excited about high school recruits anymore because it just don't mean anything. They can leave in a half a year, like Barry Alexander did at USC. But Ty Simpson is a breath of fresh air. And like I said, there's going to be the negative Nancy's that say, well, if he was so great, he would have started by now. Well, not necessarily. Not if you got a guy entrenched that's been there longer than him. And like I said, it's just I think a lot of these players out there now can probably take a cue from Mac Jones and Ty Simpson of the world. Now, Ty Simpson still has to prove it. But if Ty Simpson comes in this year and pulls another Mac Jones, I think it'll bode well for future athletes to see Ty Simpson succeed. And I think us as college football fans, whether what fan base you root for or not, need to root for players like Ty Simpson to do rather well so that it's a good example for these players going forward. And hopefully going forward, this will also make it easier for them to implement some things as far as maybe getting these players to sign contracts of at least 2 years. That's another topic for another day. But I'm going to go ahead and bring up another graph real quick for y'all that I found interesting. As you can see here, this is last year's top 10 passing quarterbacks. Kyle McCord was number one with 4,779 yards, followed by Cam Ward, Jackson Dart, Saka Zulu Sanders, and Garrett Nussmeier round out the top 5. Now, Garrett Nussmeier, while he was a decent quarterback, if Garrett can come into LSU and pass for 4,000 plus yards, I think that Ty Simpson can definitely replicate that. And that's what I wanted to ask y'all next is of these guys that you see on the top 10, where do you see Ty Simpson? Where do you see him being as far as total yards passing? I'd like to know y'all's predictions on that. And maybe we can go back and look at it once the season is over and just see exactly how accurate we were about Ty Simpson. But I think Ty Simpson can definitely, in my opinion, approach the 3,500-yard mark and above, which would place him around 10th or 11th last year. And I think that's a fair expectation, in my opinion. What do you guys and gals think? Y'all drop it in the comment section. Y'all give me your predictions on what you think is going to happen with Ty Simpson. Do you think he's going to be the solution at Alabama? Do you think that he's going to struggle at Alabama? And do you think that maybe Keelan Buss or Austin Mack takes over for him in the middle of the in the middle of the year? And with that, I'm going to get out of here. Like, share, comment, and subscribe to this channel. It's the Big Four, and they're all absolutely free. We want to do a little something extra, though. And you want to join the Outlaw Posse and get your badge and get deputized like those 4 guys and gals did earlier, as well as possibly the comment of the day. All you got to do is hit that join button over by the subscribe button. Not but $2.99 a month. That's just 75 cents a week. That's just a half a bottle of water for the Outlaw. Also, there's a little heart down here with the money dollar sign in the middle. You can make a one-time donation to the program. Smash that heart, throw a few dollars in the coffers. KMCA to all the other teams. Class is now officially dismissed.